stood like right here and just basically shot my voice down at the ground. This one is for everybody who has heard the song and loved the song and they want to know what is in the song, what went into it, because there's kind of a lot going on. I have some things, some files hidden and whatnot, so you can't see it all, but this is pretty much it. We're gonna start with that intro, because I know the intro is really cool. It's got some clean guitar and it also has some synth underneath it that also runs throughout and changes throughout the song. It's basically doing exactly what the guitar is doing. And then when it comes in, it hits harder, it gets a lot louder. The purpose of that wasn't necessarily to hear it. It was actually just to emphasize the lead. And just for your information, I don't edit guitars too much. I really don't. I like to just let it go. I like to let it breathe. And I tighten it up if it's a certain part, you know, like the breakdowns and stuff. You usually tighten it up in the breakdowns. You can kind of tell that I made sure it was all on the grid. And that brings me into the vocals. We're just gonna, all the vocals here.
Everything that I do is the result of what I've been through. Now I drink at night in my room in this empty home. Will never be enough to receive true love. Run myself for God.
But then for these parts right here, I just wanted you guys just to hear it, just 'cause it's kind of fun. And for these parts, kind of in the verses before the chorus start, it's all, I was literally right here. Neumann TLM 107, by the way. I stood like right here and just basically shot my voice down at the ground for those parts. These parts right here.
They said I told you so.
I didn't want to rely on using a reverb plugin to try to replicate that. I really felt like being away from it, a little bit more distant in the room, was going to be a more raw, like a more real feeling. It's kind of like a modern pop punk, kind of Midwest emo trick. I'm not sure who else exactly does it, but I've heard that style, I've heard that type of effect in many songs, and I really love it. Then we're gonna do the solo here. Gonna let you kind of hear it, and I'll show you guys actually the chain for my solo. I'll show you the chain, because I used the exact same chain in my first song, World We Live In. Yeah, I'm not the greatest player, but I will show you, you know, for me it made sense. So I got quite a bit on here. I did tune up the solo just a hair. There was a few notes that were just a little bit off, but it's all good. That's what happens. It's a guitar. But I wanted to lock it in with the instrumental a little bit more, but I only changed really like one or two notes. And then got Will Putney. I don't have it on the clean. I know it says clean tone, but I have it on the lead, and I just turned the gain up to taste. A little bit of EQ here. Take notes. Not gonna yap about it too much. You guys are smart. Verb Suite Classics by Slate, and it's hard to tell. This blend knob on here is super fidgety when you get into the 20s on the percentage. Once you get past like 23 or 24, it starts to get pretty heavy on it. I got 28.4 on there. Yeah, that one actually kind of matters. Then we got H delay, the good old trusty H delay. And then SSL E channel, just boosting around 2.5, I believe. Yeah, 2.5K. And that's it. Yeah, just a boost to 2.5K. I just like the way it sounds on that plugin. It's such a good plugin. We got a little bit of a doubler or a spreader, just the stock Logic spreader. Yeah. Oops. Never mind. That's the chorus. It's a chorus, and then we have the spreader, which are both stock Logic plugins. And then lastly, just to kind of keep it in the mix real nice, and to bring up some of the smaller intricacies of the solo, I did Renaissance Axe. I think I just did like, yeah, I usually keep it right in there when I want it to be fairly aggressive. But yeah, this is such a dense mix. I really needed to make sure these were poking through and they were sticking in the mix best I could make them. And for shits and giggles, we'll do the drums actually last, but I want you guys to hear the rhythms because they're not really that prominent. They're actually kind of quiet. Same thing with the world we live in. I don't know why. I'm a guitar player, so I'm usually biased towards the guitars, but this time I wanted to make sure that I wasn't overpowering the mix with the guitars, because you take a lot of your energy and your punch away from the drums when you have guitars too loud. Yeah, I don't even know. They sound really good. They're dark, but they sound really clean, really nice. Just good mid-range, not harsh at all. I guess I'll do a mix. Maybe I'll do a mix break. God, my phone keeps dying. But let me know if you guys want a actual mix breakdown. I'm more than willing to do that. I don't really care. It's impossible for you to replicate anybody's sound, but if somebody gets something useful out of it, I'm not the craziest mixer in the world, even though I do believe that the mix sounds really good. I'm really proud of it. I guess it's all subjective, so if I could share one thing with you guys and it helps you in your demos or whatever, I'm totally down. And lastly, we are taking this shit to the moon. I'm gonna post every day forever, as long as I can physically do it. I'm really dedicated to this shit, and I'm dedicated to making real music and actually having something cool to put out there and just making it my life, because I want it to be my life, you know. So appreciate you guys watching. If you watched it all the way to the end, thank you so much. And don't forget to subscribe, because this is going to be really cool. I can't wait to see where this takes us.